Hey friends, my name is George Gianaris. I'm a chef of 36 years, and if you're here, I hope it's because you like to eat healthy, save money, and cook like a pro, because that's what this channel is all about. And today, we're gonna be all about the olives. And if you purchase olives like these from a typical store, you may not be enjoying them as you should, because there's a treatment you need to make on these olives that are gonna really make the flavor explode, and that's what I'm gonna show you how to do here today. So it's estimated that we've been harvesting olives for nearly 6,000 years, and archaeological finds have shown that the first domesticated plant might have been an olive tree. According to California Olive Branch, which is a company in California that manufactures olive oil, there are 2,000 different species of olive oil, of which about 150 of them are used for table olives. According to the International Olive Council, there are 139 species of olives that are used for table consumption. Here's a list of 26 of the most common olives used. There are 41 countries that produce olives, and the number one country is Spain, followed by Italy, followed by Turkey, followed by Greece. And Spain has almost 5 times the production of the bottom 3. Today we're going to be focusing mostly on Greek olives, and the 2 most common Greek olives are Kalamata olives, which are purple, and cracked green olives, which are green. These are also known sometimes as colossal olives. The reason why these are green and these are purple is not because so much that they're different species, but because of the ripening process. These are more ripe than these. When you're purchasing olives, one of the biggest things you should look for is what it is brined in. So I've chosen olives that are brined in natural ingredients. For example, this cracked olive here has simple ingredients: olives, water, olive oil, salt, and lemon. I like that a lot. And then this one here, these Kalamata olives, are a little bit different: water, sea salt, vinegar, and extra virgin olive oil. These are pitted. Here's some olives that you're probably familiar with. These are large, pitted, ripe olives. I don't buy these. To me, they're very tasteless. Usually you find them almost on Mexican food, pretty much just for texture. And this particular brand here contains other ingredients that I don't want to put in my body. I don't know what ferrous gluconate it's added to stabilize the color. I don't really care about the color of my olives. I care about the flavor of the olives. And that's what we're focusing on today, the flavor of these olives. When you purchase olives like these in the store, they're preserved either in salt or vinegar, or both. And the reason why is because olives are collected by shaking the tree, and the olives hit the ground. When they hit the ground, they can be exposed to a spore called Clostridium perfringens. The only way that you can kill Clostridium perfringens is by literally cooking it to a temperature of 265 degrees, which would render whatever you're cooking it in as ashes. So to keep bacteria from multiplying, we need our food, in order for it to be preserved, to be at a certain salinity. The higher the salinity past a certain point, the less likely that there will be bacteria growth, or there will not be any bacteria growth. Similarly, acidity. When a product becomes acidic, there is no bacteria growth. So when you're buying these olives, they are incredibly salty and incredibly acidy, and the flavor that's there is completely masked by this. In order to create a delicious olive, we need to reverse that process a little bit. These are cracked green olives, and the reason why they're cracked is because they're larger. And when they're curing these, they want the brine to reach the center of the olive, so they crack it, and it'll then be brined faster, so then they could produce it in jars like this. We want to get rid of that acidity, and we also want to get rid of that salinity. So the best way to do it is to first rinse them off really well. And then the ideal way is to put them in the refrigerator overnight. What I do is I put warm water, and literally like 70, 80 degrees in here, and then I put the whole thing in the fridge overnight. Sometimes I'll actually go through the process of changing the water out. You can actually do this for 1 or 2 days. You don't have to just do it for 1 day. The other way that you can do it if you're in a rush is to just really rinse them out thoroughly. You can run them under water in a sink for a while. Not the best thing for the environment. You're wasting a lot of water. You can run them under the sink in warm water. That helps the salinity and the acid to get out of this. But ideally, keep these in the refrigerator. Once you take these olives out of the refrigerator, strain them and strain them well. I buy these by the case. We eat a lot of olives. I really enjoy these a lot, and they will last in the refrigerator in a treated state for 6 months to a year. So it's pretty cool that you can make these in advance and you can buy these in bulk. So if you have access to these in bulk, like at a club warehouse, you can save a lot of money. This amount of olives here happens to be roughly 4.5 pounds. These are whole coriander seeds, and I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds and add them to my mortar and pestle. You want to crush these up a little bit. It'll release the aromatics. It smells unbelievable. What we want to do is take this organic lemon, we're going to slice it in half and squeeze the juice onto the olive mixture. Save that wedge and then take the other slice, cut it into discs, and then proceed to cut the lemon into like little tiny wedges, like something you'd find on a cocktail. Then take the part that you did squeeze and also cut that up into little tiny pieces as well. We're also going to take a bulb of garlic and we're going to smash this garlic up and cut it, not minced, just chunks, and add that to our olives as well. Now, when you're treating the green olives, you should treat it with 100% olive oil. This is extraordinary olive oil that I got from a small village in Greece. It's like a small batch olive oil, and you want to coat the olives with it. You're going to use a lot of olive oil, potentially a liter or more. You are not wasting your olive oil though, because once this sets in the fridge for a day or two, that olive oil is going to take on a whole new flavor, and you can use that olive oil in your salads. You can even use it to season your food if you're not going to be cooking it at super high temperatures. If you're going to be cooking anything over 375 degrees, it is not recommended that you use olive oil. So none of this goes to waste. These olives in a day are going to be significantly different than the olives you purchase and eat right out of the jar. First and foremost, I'd like to give a shout out to the person who actually taught me how to do this. He's a good friend of mine. His name is George, and he is one of my closest friends. He gives me these olives, he brings them to my house, and we don't know how to eat an olive any other way. In Greek, by the way, the name, when they say George, they have a Greek phrase that says Opu Yorgos Gemalama, which means wherever there's a George, you'll find gold. So in essence, I'm like a leprechaun. Make sure that you save those beautiful, beautiful drippings of olive oil. Do not waste a drop of them. In the refrigerator, this is gonna thicken up, and that's okay, because when you scoop that out of there and you put your olives on a plate, a couple minutes at room temperature and it'll liquefy again. Clostridium perfringens, which is very prevalent in garlic because garlic is pulled out of the ground, will multiply without air. It's an anaerobic bacteria, and in order to keep that from happening, we wanna keep this always at 41 degrees or below to about 38 degrees. Never, ever leave this out on the counter for extended periods of time. You stand a chance of getting very, very ill. Treating the Kalamata olives is actually easier than treating the green olives. Make sure that your olives are rinsed well and then strained well. Then you're just gonna add these to the bowl. Really, really simple. Same kind of a premise. We're not gonna season these. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take half a lemon. This is about 2 pounds of Kalamata olives. And again, I'm just gonna slice these into discs and then cut them into little wedges. Don't squeeze the lemon. Just add half a lemon chopped up into little pieces into your Kalamata olives. The difference between the black olives and the green olives, and I'm not really sure why this is, but you don't want to use straight olive oil with this. It'll literally thicken up like a brick. You won't be able to get the olives out. So take a nice quality avocado oil and use about 75% avocado oil to 25% olive oil into this mix. So this way it'll be thin enough to handle. It's not rocket science. You really don't need to measure it. Looking at this bowl, it looks like it's about 3/4 full, and I'm just going to top off the olives with about 25% olive oil. You do not need to rinse these overnight. It's optional. I find that that little bit of vinegar that's in here really gives a nice flavor once it's incorporated into the olive oil, and let's say a day or two has passed. These olives are spectacular to have in your refrigerator. You'll be eating them as snacks, you'll be adding them to the salads. The oil is precious. It's absolutely delicious. You're gonna add this to your mason jar, or whatever jar that you want. Make sure you use a wide mouth so you can get those olives out of there. It goes into the refrigerator just like the green olives. Pretty much ready to eat within a day or two. The longer it stays, the better it tastes. Again, it'll last in the refrigerator 6 months to a year. That is so delicious. You really taste the olive. Olives are filled with flavors of vegetables. And when you have them and they're just brined right out of the jar, that flavor just vanishes. The Kalamata olives, they almost have like a subtle nuttiness to them. You could taste a little bit of thyme that's already built into the taste of the Kalamata olive, which we didn't even add any seasonings to. This is like a huge door of opportunity for you. You can season it and experiment with it any way you like. Come up with your own combinations, and when you do, please leave a comment down below. The green olives are my absolute favorite. The brininess is gone, the sourness is gone. The garlic, the lemon, the coriander created just a delightful flavor here. The olive, you can taste the vegetable in it. It's not just this briny taste. Tasting a little bit of earthiness in there. Almost like an unripened sour apple. So delicious. This is like an open canvas. You can season it any way that you like. When you try this, leave a comment down below. And if you have your own method of treating olives, I'd like that recipe. Please list it down below. And I appreciate you tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, share this on social media, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Absolutely delicious.